One of the most iconic Mexican breakfast plates is the chorizo and egg plate, and that's my personal favorite plate to order whenever I go out to eat breakfast at a restaurant. But that's also one of my favorite things to cook here at home for breakfast. And today, I'm gonna give you my take on the chorizo and egg plate. In this video, we are not only going to be making the chorizo and egg plate, we're also going to be making my favorite breakfast salsa. So for this recipe, we are going to need 3 serrano peppers, 2 jalapeños, 1/4 of an onion, 1 whole tomato, 1 garlic, and some salt and pepper. And for our chorizo and egg plate, we are going to use 1 white potato, 5 eggs, your choice of chorizo, and your choice of refried beans. So to get started, the first thing we're gonna do is go to our stove and we're gonna boil our vegetables for the salsa. That's one of the most time-consuming parts. That's the first thing I like to start. All right, so we're gonna come back here. We're gonna turn on our stove to high heat. We're gonna get the water to a boil, and then we're gonna throw our serranos and our jalapeños in there. All right, so now that our water has come to a boil, we're gonna throw our 3 serrano peppers in there along with our 2 jalapeños. And we're gonna let them change color a little bit before we go ahead and we throw our tomato in there. All right, so while we got the vegetables boiling back there for our salsa, I'm gonna go ahead and just dice up this potato. The way we're gonna eat it, we're gonna eat this potato as a side. And so this is just kind of the way I dice it up. Just like so. Come and we just cube it up just like that. Okay, so we're at a place now where our jalapeños and our serrano are changing colors. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move it to this back burner, still keep it on high heat. It's a smaller burner, so it's gonna bring down the heat more than what this was. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw my tomato in there. All right, so while that is cooking, we are going to start on our potatoes. So first thing we're gonna do is we are going to throw some oil in there. I know it seems like a lot of oil, but we are going to fry these potatoes. And the heat is set to medium high. All right, now that our oil is hot, we're gonna throw our potatoes in there. And we are going to season these potatoes with our salt and pepper, just like that. These potatoes are gonna take some time to cook, so we're just gonna go ahead, sit here, let them cook. All right, so we are at a place to where our vegetables look fantastic. So we're gonna grab our vegetables and we are going to just throw them here in the blender. Just like that. So in the blender, we put our 3 serranos, our 2 jalapeños, our 1 tomato in here. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our 1/4 of an onion. We are going to add our garlic, and we are going to add our salt and pepper. And you can put a generous amount of that salt and pepper. So we are going to blend it up. So we got this blend up. We're gonna add a little bit of the water from the water we used to boil the vegetables in here. I also did notice that I did forget one of the serranos, and so it won't have the heat that we are used to having. So I'm just gonna throw that 1 serrano in here, and we're gonna add a little bit of this water in here as well. Again, this is just gonna kind of thin it up, make it a little more liquidy like salsa. Go ahead and we'll blend it. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna check for the consistency, and that consistency looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead, put our salsa to the side, and we're gonna check on our potatoes. All right, so our potatoes are starting to look fantastic. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna move them to the back burner. I'm gonna put it on medium-low heat and just kind of let them keep on cooking. They're starting to get a really nice char, but in the meantime, while that is cooking, we are going to start on our chorizo and egg. All right, so we're gonna start off with our chorizo. And this chorizo comes in links, so I'm gonna use one link. This recipe that we're using, it's gonna be for 2 people. So if you got more guests that you are going to feed, of course you would double that if you got 4, if you got 6. So we're gonna let this chorizo cook. And this chorizo, it is gonna cook all on its own. There's nothing you really gotta do. All I'm doing is kind of just breaking it up. And once I break it up, I'm just gonna let it sit. I'm gonna let it simmer. I'm gonna let it just cook all on its own. This chorizo is getting to a place to where it looks absolutely fantastic. So we are going to come in here and we are going to add our eggs. So one thing we're gonna do is we are going to lower down the heat of the stove once we add our eggs in there. The trick to some really good fluffy scrambled eggs is going to be cooking them nice and slow. So we'll go ahead and we're going to scramble these up here with the chorizo, and we're going to cook it just nice and slow. We're coming here, give it a nice, another good mix. And it looks like our potatoes are ready to go. They're nice, they're crispy, they're fried, they're toasty. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn off this back stove. All right, so this chorizo and it looks absolutely great. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna turn off our stove. We're gonna go ahead and get our stuff on the plate, ready to go. And just like that, we have our chorizo and egg plate with refried beans, our take on Mexican hash browns, our chorizo and egg, and we can't have a Mexican plate without some homemade salsa. So let's go ahead, let's give this a try. Let's see what it tastes like. Yep. Let's see about our salsa. Let's try our salsa out here. Yep. Another really cool thing we can do here is make some tacos, and at our home, this is how we do it. Just like this. We'll put our chorizo, add our Mexican hash browns, just like that. We'll give this a taste test here. Fantastic. And just as always, we have to finish what we started, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and prepare another plate for my wife because she's upstairs. I'm sure she can smell the goodness in the house. And next time you are wanting an authentic Mexican chorizo and egg plate, give this recipe a try. If you got family over, go ahead, give this recipe a try as well, so that way you can be the talk of the morning. We'll see you soon.